That's what it's talking about. So there are different aspects of health which we'll be looking at, which we will review. But the most critical of all types of health is your mind. It's very important. So just answer that question. I don't want you to get you distracted. Because that question is very important for us to know the degree of awareness we have and be able to assess outcome. Be good. Just try. Okay? Some of them are just short, or some of them you just need to write something. So go ahead, write it. We have just 5 minutes to do that. Please. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. As you continue to answer the question, I will just be giving these preambles. So for the purpose of this presentation, this workshop, I will be referencing 2 important books. Okay, number 1 is DSM-5. Okay, DSM-5 is the diagnostic medical tool for people in psychiatrists. Okay, for psychiatrists, DSM-5 and the Holy Bible. Okay, the Holy Bible. So when you talk about the mind, okay, there is spirituality involved. Okay, the mental health is not like any other health. So there's a spiritual component of it. So I will be referencing these 2 important books in that presentation. So the objectives at the end of this seminar, we will be able to understand the scope of mental health. We understand the brain and the mind. We understand some symptoms and some signs and symptoms for you to be able to identify what's going on. We're going to look into the root causes of mental health, mental illness, particularly why we behave the way we do. Then, there is this concept that is very, very novel, okay, called therapeutic forgetfulness. We're going to be understanding what it is. Okay? It's novel. Why I say it's novel, if you Google it, you will not see it. Okay? We're going to be understanding the true meaning of needs and wants, because we have actually listed. So these are the things we're going to be understanding in this workshop. So, moving forward, the power of knowledge. We believe that knowledge is power, right? We all agree. And even though you have not turned in your questions, I can kind of predict what you answered there. What about when the knowledge you have is wrong?
It's still power.
What about, does it still empower you?
Yes, it still empowers you, because power can be negative or positive, yes.
No, when we talk about, okay, in this concept, we're talking about positive. We're talking about positive power right now. So, because the people who, I am not the one that devised knowledge is power. It has been there, thousands of years. And the people who used it first are motivational speakers. So they are trying to motivate you, to tell you the knowledge is power. So they want to provide knowledge for you to be empowered. So, but the question is, what if that knowledge, that information is defective? Does it really empower you in that regard? Okay? So,
audience, please.
So please, let's have one house. This is very important.
Yes.
This is very important.
You said if the information is negative, does it still empower you?
If the information is wrong, that's the question there.
Well, let me.
If it is, what about when you know the wrong thing from that information?
I will come to you. I will give you an example of what's going on in Nigeria. see, in the law, I live in Kano. These people sometimes they go on rampage due to wrong information. And information is power. You can tell God will be negative, it will be positive.
Yes.
You understand? So I don't know
Sir,
what you're saying.
sir, in the context of this meeting, okay? In the context of this meeting, we are talking about that particular knowledge or information. For example, if I go to medical school to learn about medicine, okay, I am trying to acquire knowledge to do something good. That's the kind of knowledge we are talking about.
Yeah. In that case, it answers itself now. Then it's like.
So that is why I am taking time to explain this, so that you don't misquote us. So in the context of what we are talking about tonight, okay, we're talking about that particular information and knowledge that is positive. Okay? So we're gonna learn how to unlearn things tonight. How we're gonna unlearn things so that we can put in the right one. So what is mental health? Okay? I know you have various, definition on that. So can somebody quickly tell me what mental health is? You've already written it in your paper. Just be bold. Just tell us. Sir, can you help us? Yes, please. Okay.
I wrote the state of the mind.
The state of the mind.
Yeah.
And I wrote the state of the mind and brain being unstable.
Okay, that's good.
It's the capacity of an individual to live within an environment and be sane.
Okay.
The important thing there is state, and when you say health is about the entire body. So state of one's
Mind.
state of a person
Thank you.
at a particular time.
All these responses are positive. So we have aspects of health. Okay, we have renal health, dental health, liver health, all these health. Because the problem there is that when people measure mental health, people think mental health is now a disease. No, it's a state of the mind and the brain center. So we have all these aspects of health, including mental health. Now, from my definition, mental health is not a disease. Okay? Rather, it's a state of health of your mind and brain. So these two things make up your mental health. The state. What is the state of that? These two organs. So your mind is actually, your brain is an organ, but your mind is not an organ, but something that is there that God put there to regulate a lot of things. So that's it. So it becomes sick when there is issues bothering it, such as disease, pain, or stressful situations. Okay? Now, what is the difference between the mind and the brain? Okay? I challenge my kids with this question because I gave them a book to read on the power of the mind, and they were amazed what the difference were. So, but we're not going to go into details. We'll just mention a few things there. So, the human brain is so complex. It's one of the complex organs. Okay, and it has different parts. Okay, but with the respect of this topic, okay, we're going to focus on amygdala. Okay, amygdala. I don't know why my cursor is not showing. So sorry about that. So you could see amygdala here. This tiny part here is very important in controlling our emotions. Okay, all the emotions you've ever had. This amygdala works with your spinal cord and other parts of your CNS to regulate your emotions. Okay, so it's very, very important. So that is, we didn't put it there. Our maker put it there. So we need to understand you have something like that can make you mad sometimes. Even though you see how tiny it is, okay, it's regulating your emotions. That amygdala there. All right. Then you have your mind. Okay? You have your mind. Your mind is not confined in any particular location. It wanders. So one thing with the brain is that brain is limited. Okay? It's just in one place. It can only function based on the inputs that it receives from your input devices, like your eyes, your ears, your all your five senses. Then your sixth sense is that your mind. So your brain receives inputs, messages from your mind. So the mind does not live in any particular location. That's why you can stay here now and go to China and come back without moving your body. Your mind can actually, so it's a power that God gave us, okay, to be able to draw things from the supernatural to the physical. So you need to understand how these things work. And depending on how you are using it, these things are given to us to serve us, not for us to serve them. So if you don't understand these concepts and how to use it to your advantage, you're gonna have serious mental health disorder. So these are the two things that we need to understand how they function. So the mind has no limits. It goes anywhere. It can bring to you anything you're able to conceive in it. That's how powerful the mind is. It can bring it. Whether it is good or evil, it can bring it if you understand how these things work. Okay? But we're not going to go into details how the mind works. We are talking about the state of it and things that can make it sick, okay? And how to optimize it. So, in summary, the brain and the mind work together. So they work together to give us our mental health status. Okay? What are the types of mental health disorders? What are the types? Can somebody just tell us, just randomly, mental health disorder, just tell me.
Bipolar.
Bipolar. Schizophrenia. Alzheimer's is not a mental.
How about depression?
Alzheimer's is depression, of course, depression. So Alzheimer's is a pathological condition that affects the brain, but we don't really regard it as mental health actually. Okay, mental health, but it affects the brain. Okay, it affects the brain and the spinal cord. Okay, so we have depression. Okay, there are lots of them. We have anxiety.
Alcoholism.
Okay, alcoholism. Okay, alcoholism is it between symptom and so alcoholism. So if you tell me addiction, all right. So addiction.
Yeah.
So that's how it's defined.
That's what I meant.
Addiction. So you are right in a way. You are right. So yeah. So anxiety. People have anxiety, and we're gonna be talking about this. Okay, it's a serious matter. You don't know where the next meal will come. You don't know how your child is going to go to school. You don't know how you're going to. You are having 10 jobs in Canada, and people are calling you from Nigeria, all over the world, sending money. You have anxiety. It's a serious mental health issue. Okay, eating disorder. You eat and eat and eat. You have no self-control. It's a serious issue. Okay, post-traumatic stress disorder. So what is post-traumatic stress disorder? Like the name implies, post-traumatic stress disorder. So if somebody, okay, let's say a child was abused when she was, or he was younger, whether he or she, okay, when he's now an adult, when he or she sees him or herself in that scenario, they start having some feelings that are weird. So we call that post-traumatic stress. Post-traumatic stress. So people who go to wars, like a lot of Canadian veterans are suffering from this. It's worse in America. Okay? And that's why they invest a lot of billions of dollars in mental health. So they go to war and they come back. They are no longer the same. Okay? If somebody taps like this around their house, they think it's a dynamite. Okay? They can jump off the
Why
roof.
is it worse in America?
Eh?
Why is it worse in America?
Talking about wars, they go to war. No country goes to war more than Americans. Is it not? So the prevalence is so much. Okay, bipolar. Somebody mentioned bipolar. Bipolar is affecting a lot of people. Even people. So bipolar. What is bipolar? In the morning he laughs. In the night he becomes dull.
Monster.
So people are like that. So you need to understand this. Understand why people behave the way they do. Okay? I'm sorry to say this. It may be your spouse, and you think he or she is okay. So when you see some of these things, okay, it helps you to understand. Rather than condemning, it will help you to support. Okay? That's why we are providing this information. Not for you to stigmatize or to condemn, but for you to really understand the situation and be able to take the right approach in managing it. Okay? Somebody said schizophrenia. What schizophrenia is the one that everybody thinks is mental health problem. That's the one that is very, very common in Nigeria. Schizophrenia is the one we call onyara, like madness. So before you get to that level of schizophrenia, okay, you must have had depression, you must have had anxiety that we are not detected, nobody supported you, and it now degenerated to the level of schizophrenia. Okay, so that one, as we speak, is irreversible as we speak. So there are drugs that we are discovering to help, like clozapine has been very helpful, but the adverse effects of clozapine is too bad. So it's being withdrawn. So physicians are very, very skeptical prescribing it. So please, this thing is very, very important that we understand this thing, the early symptoms on time, and begin to work on it before it goes to the level where it cannot be reversed. Okay? Then this one is obsessive compulsive disorder. What is it? Let me tell you. If you see anybody that is very stingy about things, check the person very well. He may be having obsessive compulsive disorder. So obsessive compulsive disorder is, he has this thing, he holds it. He goes to the bedroom, he's holding it. He's going to washroom, he's holding it. So you are developing obsessive compulsive disorder.
Sorry.
So you hold things.
Does it mean that we all have a OCD? Because when we have money, we hold on to it.
Of course, absolutely. So you're gonna be seeing. So there are people that are very, very they don't like to share. And you're going to see why these things happen. And by God's grace, you're going to see why you shouldn't behave like that. Okay? You see why you shouldn't behave like that. And I understand, when I see these things, I understand what's going on. And we try to help those people. Okay? And that is what we're going to be doing here today. Then, this one, almost everybody have a certain part of it, personality disorder. Okay? And it's well defined in narcissistic people. Who are the narcissistic people?
Donald Trump.
I'm gonna be showing you a slide that the symptom and signs that I listed here are targeted to personality disorders. Okay, and we're gonna be looking at those symptoms and signs to actually understand the personality symptoms when you see that. So that, remember, why we are doing this is not to condemn. Okay, is to help. Is to help and to be better managers. God made us to be managers. So remember when God created the Garden of Eden. So he has created everything before making man last. And gave him power to do what? To manage, to control. So we are supposed to be good managers. So if anything is wrong with your home or with your office, check whether you are a good manager. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you're a man or woman. Be a good manager. So learn how to manage these things. Understand that everybody has amygdala. We have it. They're not the one that put it in themselves. It's there. So it's left for us to understand, okay, I know you, I know what you're going through. How can I help? But if the person doesn't want help, then you find a way to withdraw yourself. Okay? So, but we don't want to get into violence. So epidemiology is about the prevalence of this. So I'm not going to be giving you the epidemiology of all the things I've mentioned. We'll just talk about one, depression and personality disorder. This is very, very common, given the way our society is structured. It doesn't matter whether it's Nigeria or Canada. The way the world is designed by people who came here before us, is defective, is faulty. Okay? That's why I asked you that question. I said, if you were alone in this world, will you do what you are doing now? Okay? That's a thought-provoking question. I'm here to see what your answer is. Okay? Will you pursue that career? If you're alone, think about it for a second. If you are alone in this whole world, will you be a doctor? Will you be a lawyer? Where are you going to service? So you see that everything we are doing for human beings. So there are people who came first and understand this thing and design the world like this so that all of us can be slaves and just fit in and start being, continue to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. So I can challenge you that whatever you are doing, you think you are working on your career, you involve yourself and your wife, and no, you are doing it for people, not for you. Because when you think about it for a second, okay, I'm alone in this world. Have you ever thought of what Adam and Eve were doing when they were alone? What were they doing? They were just wake up, sleep, move around. Just move around. And when it's time to copulate, they will copulate and move around. And they lived 100 and something years.
They were eating apple steady.
So there were nothing to worry about. There is no witches, there is no wizard, there is no what is it called now? Use. What are we doing? So we are coming to that. We're coming to that. Results from stress. So the results from stress, pressure from within and from without. So the depression and personality disorder comes from stress from within and from without. The pressures from us, like our amygdala, and of course the pressure from the society, people around you, your family members, the government, the way it is structured. This is what is killing us. So what are the symptoms of personality disorder? Covetousness. What is covetousness? Okay, can somebody help us? This is English word. This is not medical word. Thank you, sir.
When you don't answer,
Arrogance.
answer my.
People with personality disorder, they're very arrogant. What is arrogance? Okay, there's a thin line between assertiveness. People have asked me this question. Say, Doc, what's the difference between arrogance and assertiveness? Okay, the difference is what I'm going to explain to you. The difference between two of them are very bold. Arrogant people and people that are assertive are very bold. They are very high-minded in their opinion. But the difference is that people who are assertive give you opportunity to speak on your mind. They give you opportunity to air your view and reason it with you to see. Okay? So if it makes sense, they can bend and allow that. If it doesn't make sense, they will tell you no. It doesn't make sense. But people that are arrogant, they don't care how you feel. They will just tell you, slam it on you, and walk away.
Nigerian leaders.
Okay? That is a lot of them have personality disorder. Sorry.
A quick clarification, sir.
Selfishness. They lack empathy. They don't care. Okay? They don't care. Personality disorder. That's what we are describing. Okay? They have exaggerated sense of self-importance. Okay? They come in a meeting, they want to sit in the front. They don't care whether they merit to be there. They feel that the world belongs to them. Okay? All the behaviors. They have this exaggerated sense of importance, better than everybody else. Okay? They have high sense of entitlement. So they believe that. Do you know the village I came from? Do you know who is my father? Okay? Do you know what I brought to this house? Is it because I agreed to marry you? So all those kind of language, you'll be hearing it from them.
Yes.
Okay? When you hear this thing, begin to find a way to help that person. Okay? The person is having this issue called personality disorder. High sense of entitlement. Okay? They're envious of others, and they believe that others are also envious of them. That is called witchcraft. So witchcraft is a sign of personality disorder, a sign of mental health. Okay? So that is why I want people to say, be careful how you post things on social media. Okay? Because you are just exposing yourself to people who don't understand they have amygdala. They don't understand. And of course, they don't even know, like they don't have access to that thing you have. They know they cannot make it. So you are provoking their amygdala. And the next thing they will think about is how to stop you. Because they can't get it. So be careful how you post things. I'm not saying that you have fear. No, you are just helping them. Everybody say help. You are helping their mental health. That's why I consider it. Okay? I don't expose the things I do because of this. And of course, why would I expose it? Why? Except when it's extremely important that somebody is going to improve. So people like to have every small thing. Facebook, this one. It's affecting somebody that have personality disorder. The next thing, you start having challenges and you start looking for pastors to pray for you, to do this, to do that. I am not saying that, that you shouldn't celebrate, but be careful with the people you involve. Because you don't know what they're going through. Okay? Be careful on that. Those are symptoms. They insist on having the best of everything. People with personality disorder, they want the best car. They go to car bay, they want to choose the best. Okay? They want to make hair, Brazilian hair. That's what I want in this my birthday. So they want to choose, they want to have the best of things. It's nothing wrong having the best if you work for it. Okay? If you work for it, there's nothing wrong. But when it becomes a problem, there is no input in your part. You are putting pressure on somebody else because you want to have the best. You need to watch it. Okay?
The best car material.
Of course, you can. Remember what I said. If you are not putting pressure on somebody, if you work for it and you want to go for it, that's okay. But we are talking about when we are in a group. Okay, we're in a group. Everybody should be treated equally. You want for you to be treated specially because all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. So that's the kind of mentality.
But does that exist though?
It does! So people with personality disorder, you're having a conversation with them, you monopolize the conversation, they look down on you, and they feel that you are inferior. What do you even know? What do you want to say on this thing? I beg. Those kind of attitude, you better watch it. So they are preoccupied by fantasies about success, power, beauty, and perfect mate. So they fantasize on all these things. They believe that they should have it. It's their entitlement and all that. Okay. So there are lots of symptoms. I didn't really exhaust it. If you go online to type narcissistic personality disorder, it will give you all the symptoms they have. So the final one, they feel it's okay to put you in a WhatsApp group without seeking your consent, and they insist that they are doing it in your favor when you question it. So these people, they just put you somewhere, and they expect you to accept it. And when you question it, they say, am I not doing you a favor? They don't respect, remember that what I said about your feelings. They don't respect your opinion. Okay? They are very arrogant. So they don't know about how you feel. And I just use WhatsApp group here. There are other examples how these people behave. Okay? So what are the root causes? Okay? Why do we behave the way we do? Why do people do these things? Okay? There are 3 things why we do that. Pain. When God created us, He put pain receptors in our body. Okay? Physical pain and emotional pain. Okay? Like we mentioned in the it's there. So pain is what everybody feels it, whether you like it or not. And physicians are working so hard, scientists are working so hard, looking for medications for the physical pain. But the one for emotional pain, nobody has actually found it. That is why it's important you dip yourself in Christ. Because that's the only way. Because it's the only one. Because remember how the mind works. It wanders. You don't have control of it. It just moves. When you sleep, it leaves. It goes to so many places, and by God's grace, it comes back. So we need to understand that. what is the next thing that makes us behave the way we do? This one is very critical. Hunger. Hunger we are talking about here is not just hunger for food. We're talking about desire. Everybody here in this world has a desire for something. Desire for power and control. Desire for closeness and care. That's why we get married. That's why we have boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay? The desire for respect and recognition. And we need each other. All respect and recognition. Okay? People desire these things. People go to university to get PhD. All recognition. People do all manner of things. Okay? These are the three basic things people desire. There are lots of it which we are going to see. But we have this thing inside of us. Hunger, desire. Okay? Steve Jobs said it in one of his talks. He said, 3 advice. He said, remain hungry. Remain hungry. Remain hungry. What does that mean? He said, continue to have passion. Continue to aspire. Continue to. That is the problem. Okay? We're going to see how that is actually a problem. So, we have hunger and desire for a lot of things. And that's why entrepreneurs will keep making money from us. Because they know that iPhone 1 will not be enough for you because of your hunger. They will make iPhone 2. The next, they will make iPhone 3. Which iPhone are we now?
14.
14.
Yeah.
So they will keep making this thing. Guess what? Guess what? See why this thing is. See why it is dangerous. Okay? If they are making it and it's affordable for everybody, I will not have any problem with it. In the context of mental health. In the context of mental health, if everybody can afford it, there's no problem. Okay? But the problem is that it's not everybody that can afford it. All these things they are making. And that's why you have all these socialists that is agitating. Okay? They want equality because they know that people who came before us designed this world to favor them more than us. So when you come, you just begin to struggle, try to find your feet, try to survive. Because, of course, you have hunger and you have pain. You have to solve that problem. So they do what? They leverage on this thing. They take advantage of these two things, your pain and your hunger. So they use it. So that's why I'm giving you an expo now. In case you want to be an entrepreneur, just go home, sit down, look at what people love and they're hungry for. Create it. You will become a billionaire overnight. That's how the entrepreneurs make their money. So if you want to make money, don't go and start working 9 to 5 or stress yourself. Sit down and use the power of your mind to find something people are hungry for. Create that thing. Everybody will be coming to your company to buy it. That's how you become rich. So that's how these things work. Now the third one is debt. So these are the things that God has put in us. So so if you want to be a good manager, learn from God. I've taken time to study his pattern. So he's the best manager I've ever seen. So if you read the book of Genesis, chapter 5, he said that, chapter 8 actually, when Noah, came back from the flood, he said, for I have seen that man heart is continuously evil. I will no longer join issues with him. So I'm going to build a software that is going to control him. So while I sleep, this software will be controlling him to my own advantage in God. So you put these 3 softwares in us. So if you escape pain, you will not escape hunger or desire. If you escape hunger, you will not escape death. So he made all these things for you to be close to him because he wants to be in charge of you. So you cannot be telling him what to do. So you better submit and work with him to make it easy for you. So these are the things he did. So even Adam lived 930 years. At that point, in chapter 5, he said, in fact, I'm going to reduce your number of years, you, man, that you don't listen. I'm going to reduce it to 120. How many of us are living up to 120 even? So he reduced it from 900 and something to 120. So that no matter what you do, so these are thought-provoking things that, that is making us to behave the way we do. And it's very, very important. I'm sorry, this slide is actually showing us, okay? Did it cut? It's showing us from this previous slide that is showing us why we behave the way we do. We have 2 kinds of people. We have 2 kinds of people, okay? Complacent people and fastidious people, okay? These are 2 extremes of people we have in this world, okay? Look at the comparison. In complacent people, they believe that everything is controlled by God or faith, and they have no say in it. Fastidious people. So by the way, fastidious, you can Google this word. I'm not the one that coined it. So fastidious. Yeah. So fastidious people are. So it came from bacteria. So there are bacteria that are very fastidious. So when we culture them in the lab. So if every other bacteria will take this water to grow, they will like cashew. They will like mango. They will like cocoyam. They will like, you put all manner of things before they can grow. You cannot please them. So fastidious people, they believe they have a say about what happens to them. 2, complacent, they take things for granted. Fastidious people, they don't take anything for granted. Okay? In politics, complacent people believe that power is given. So you just sit in your house, don't worry, God will take care of it. Power will come to them. Politics, they believe that power is taken. So they actually compete. They will go there, compete and fight and grab it. So many of us, as you are doing this, you see where you fit in. They worry less about life, thus they resist pressure. So complacent people, they worry less about life. These ones, they worry too much about everything because they must get what they want. So they must find a way to get it. Complacent people, they live a very simple life. Fastidious people, they go for affluence and they like to be respected, to be recognized. You must respect them. They must recognize because of who they are. Okay? Complacent people, they are insensitive about opinion of others about them. They don't care about what you say about them. They believe that God takes care of everything. So whatever you say, you're your own. But these ones, they are perturbed about people's opinion about them. So they must dress well, buy the best car, buy the best hairstyle, and be presentable. Okay? So go through all these things. Okay? The complacent people, they are mostly content. Okay? They are content. Wherever they are content. They are okay. These ones, they have no sense of contentment. They are always continuously asking for more, asking for more, asking for more. These ones, their prayers begin with thanks. These ones, their prayers begin with demands and complaint because of what they didn't get yesterday. So these ones, complacent people, they hardly have depression. They can't have depression. What depression is about failure. These people, they will never worry. This one has high risk of developing depression. Because it's not everything you demand for you get, of course. Okay? So you are highly likely, you are at risk of having depression. So this one, they easily let go when they lose. Because they believe that everything is by God, so they easily let go. But these ones, they hate losing. If they ever, and you see a lot of them in Nigerian politics, if they can't get it, they will eliminate you. So they don't like to lose. These ones, they are very accommodating because they believe that God is in control of everything and they are welcoming and all that. This one, they think about themselves first. Will that thing favor them? If it doesn't favor them, they will tell you they are at work. They are not around. Now, the 12th one, never feel entitled. But these ones, the high sense of entitlement, they use prepositions like me, myself, and I. In everything they do, they are number one. Me, myself, and I. My house, my car, my wife, my laptop, my computer. Why will you touch my car? Don't you know that's my house? Why will you park there? That's my car, you scratch. So they have this thinking. Now, but there's a third people that I want to introduce us to. And I believe that by the virtue of this meeting, we can become this third people. They call temperance. So temperance is a word gotten from Greek word, aggression. These people are emotionally restrained, emotionally intelligent. Okay? So they believe that they have a say about what happens to them, okay, without negating the role of God. So we are taking some good things from complacent people and some good things from fastidious people and blend it to have this. Okay? They focus on balancing everything because life is all about balance. Okay? They know there is time for everything. So they allocate those time. They are mostly grateful. Okay? They worry less about everything. They worry less because they know the role of God in that particular issue. They don't take this for granted either. They don't take this for granted because they know if God brings manna for you in the wilderness, will God put the manna in your mouth? So there's a role for God to bring the manna, but it's your role to eat the manna, right? So you have a role to play. So then So they do to others what they expect from them, right? So they do to others what they expect from others. So they believe in the seed of sowing and reaping. So they respect people. Okay? So how they want people to treat them, they treat people like that first. Okay? So they are not controlled by opinion of others about them. They're not controlled. They know who they are. They have high sense of awareness. They know their role in God. They know their role in the society. And whatever thing you say, you're on your own because they know who they are. So they don't wait until you tell them they are beautiful before they know they are beautiful. Like so many women do. So they wait for their husband to tell them they are beautiful. It's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. But you should know who you are. Don't wait for an outsider to tell you that this is okay before you know it's okay. That's high sense of awareness. Okay? You need to know who you are. Know what is right. And if you are not sure, you ask questions. Okay? So these are the kind of people we are talking about. They have strong character and self-awareness. They know how...
Let's check in on number 8.
Number 8? Okay, they understand that too much expectation, sorry, that's the paragraph. Too much expectation is the root of all mental health problems in the world. So too much of expectation. Okay, remember the fastidious thing. Too much of expectation. So you remember, so when it comes to expectation, the reason why we all have mental health issues, people who have it, okay, and unfortunately some of us, if you look at DSM-5, you see everybody will see their symptom there, including myself. Everybody have a symptom there. So it's an expectation because as you are sitting here, you have an expectation for coming to this meeting. What if you didn't meet? You didn't. So do you have a backup plan? How to adjust yourself and just brush it up and move on so that it does not affect your amygdala? Do you have that? So there are people that have high expectation and they don't have alternative, something to knowing that human beings are fallible. The world in which we are is not perfect. So you don't have too much expectation about anything that involves human beings because they have inefficiencies. So the next one we are at is number 10. They have strong character and self-awareness. We mentioned that they know how and when to say no, thus eliminating addictions. So this is very critical, and I want to dwell a little bit on it. People of
excuse me, please. Go. Is there a way we can have a PDF of this presentation after it's done, like in the Igbo forum?
You have to pay.
I will talk about that. We'll talk about that. So, people of God, permit me to use the word people of God because we are all created by God and I'm a Christian. So, addiction is a serious issue. And when we talk about addiction, people limit it to drugs, pornography, and all whatnot. We all have addiction. If you sit down and check yourself, you know there is something you're addicted to. If I remove it from you, it may be money you're addicted to. It may be food. Okay? It may be sleep. It may be particular food. Addiction is a serious issue. It makes you develop obsessive compulsive disorder in that regard. What are you addicted to? You need to go home and ask yourself that question. You will discover it. That place where they touch you and you vibrate. Check it well. Check it very well. Check it well. What are you addicted to?
Got it.
You need to, and that is what we are going to. You see how you're going to be delivered from this. So, addiction is very, very big problem. That's why I said every one of us have a symptom in DSM-5. Because there is addiction we all have. Okay? There is addiction. So it's very, very important. They are mostly givers, not takers. Temperate people. Givers. Okay? You believe that what you have was given to you. You received it. You didn't come with it. Remember when you were born? What did you come with? We are just naked. They don't allow motivational speakers to deceive them because they already know who they are. They don't need to be told who they are. What I see about motivational speakers, they come and tell you, oh, you can invest